G'day and welcome to Aussie Vision. I'm Dale.
And g'day, I'm Mike.
And we're here at the last day of rehearsals, and we had the big five today, Michael, didn't we?
We certainly did, and it was an interesting day.
Yeah, so we're here to talk about France because they were first up, weren't they? Now, look, we were a little bit worried during the pre-parties about this performance, but I thought they pulled it together today.
It seemed a lot more subdued. It feels a bit more cohesive. There was a degree of sort of craziness, even in the national final performance, and we've seen throughout the pre-party season they've had issues with timing, etc., with vocals. I think it felt a lot cleaner and it all came together a bit more today.
Yeah, I agree. I think vocally they sounded really good. Once they introduced the fire to the performance in the kind of later runs, it really brought it all together. I still think there's a couple of interesting camera shots that maybe don't always work, and they've got to be careful to make sure they get those moments of little parts that like Alvan does, that sometimes he's not quite there or the camera's not quite there, but overall really good impact. Love the green as well.
Yeah, it's a very sort of distinctive colour palette, isn't it? A lot of green, some blues in there as well. Look, it is represented well. The song itself does lend itself to a bit of kind of, maybe a little bit of craziness or a bit of frenetic kind of energy. So I think it's not so bad if they're not completely right on the cameras.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a lot nice LED use on the floor with the green as well. I thought that looked really good. Some nice overhead shots too. But yeah, overall, it brings the energy, it brings the party in a very different way. What did you think about the extra dancer? Because there's the three women, there's Alvan, and then they have that extra dancer doing a few things.
Look, I mean, she's there. I think after the national final performance, I did find her a little superfluous. But because they're not so crazy, it kind of works now, I think. If anything, the song kind of feels like it's dropped a bit of energy for me. I thought it was really going for it in the national final, and it's just a bit pulled back and a bit pared back. Whether that works for the overall audience, we'll see. Yeah,
it's almost a bit cleaner, but less energy. So it's very hard to get those two things correct.
Yep.
Because you go too much, you get a bit messy. The dance I thought was just there. Like she didn't distract, but I don't think she really necessarily added anything. Now we've seen that. We know they're in the grand final, obviously. No qualification for the big five. Where do you see that performance getting them a result? Where's their range?
Well, we know that they've already drawn the first half. To be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if it opens the show. It might even be a good show opener. Look, I probably had high hopes for this one. I'm now probably looking towards maybe best case scenario middle of the right hand side, so maybe in the middle teens. I wouldn't be surprised if this drops into the bottom five.
Yeah, it's a hard one because I don't think it's like a bad performance, but I just don't see it in that left-hand side of the scoreboard.
Neither do I.
So I'm thinking, at best, the bottom of that left hand, but I'm probably thinking that 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th.
Kind of where I'm at as well.
That kind of later teens. I think if it was in the 20s, I think it'd be a little bit unfair, but we haven't seen everything else, right? So, but yeah, I think it might be in that kind of late teens. I wouldn't, like 17th even. Yeah.
Yeah, look, I'm not sure it's a song juries are going to go for. And as far as televoters go, who knows? But it's not really jumping out saying vote for me, vote for me, vote for me. So I'm just thinking maybe the result might not come for it.
Yeah, a good solid result. And I think they put together something that is going to get into that teens where I think they were almost, after those pre-parties, I was like, you're bottom five. So that's good that they're jumping up there. But again, I think their result is limited.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that, unfortunately.
All right, well, look, we still love the song.
Yeah,
it's one of our favourites, and it's going to be great energy, and it's going to be wonderful in the stadium, and we look forward to seeing it next week.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, catch you later.
Arrivederci.
Ciao, ciao.